It gives me great privilege and honor to introduce our next speaker, who also happens to be our distinguished guest tonight. And before I introduce our guest, I just wanted to share a brief bio. Our guest tonight is the founder of the Hennops Revival, which is a non-profit and public benefit organization that focuses on the revival, restoration, and the healing of the Hennops River, which it does in collaboration with government, other NGOs, NPOs, the public sector, and the public. Of course, you would have seen our own Stefan in the photos that he shares, and of course, Michael Shackleton, I believe, who also has shared a few. She's also the chairperson of the Moving Water Alliance, which is based in Ireland. This is an alliance of various organizations across the world which focus on the river and beach cleanup projects. Their vision is to help its members expand their cleanup projects so that volunteerism leads to sustainable job creations in these communities where cleanup is being done, and to also help members to educate their communities in an ongoing effort to prevent plastic pollution, a serious challenge in our times. She has received numerous awards for her environmental work, including the SA Prestige Award, which recognizes her recognizes the organization for being an environmental organization of the year for 2021-2022. She has also received an award for the Greening the Future Award from Mail and Guardian, and has been a top 3 finalist in Enviropedia Ecologic Awards in 2 categories, being Eco Angel and Nature Conservation. As Stefan alluded earlier in her introduction, she has recorded many podcasts and video clips about her work, which she shares on social media, and featured on several radio stations, and does presentations about her work at conferences, symposiums, and schools. Tonight, we are privileged to hear her present her talk focusing on the Hennops River. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, our speaker will be presenting on the work of her non-profit organization, which I've said focuses on the revival, healing, and restoring of the Hennops River. Speaking to the topic, Hail the Hennops, please help me welcome to the lectern, Ms. Tarryn Johnston.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you once again for inviting me to speak to you this evening. I do appreciate the privilege that you're sharing with me. So to give you a little bit of background about Hennops Revival, it started by surprise. I had absolutely no idea that I would be cleaning rivers, and I had no desire either. I was living my life with my 2 daughters, and my 12-year-old, she was 12 at that stage, she said to me, "Mommy, I want to do a river cleanup." And I looked at her and I said, "Are you serious?" And me being the mom that I am, I decided that I would organize a river cleanup, and I reached out to friends and just started posting all over Facebook to spread the word about a cleanup, and we ended up throwing quite a successful cleanup. And that was in September of 2019. Then I had my Welcome to the Hennops party, which was the 2019 floods, where entire communities were washed into the river. So I stepped in, I'm going to change over the slides, stepped in and assisted the city of Tshwane to establish temporary emergency accommodation for the flood victims, and through my audience generated quite a lot of donations, and we had actually so much we were able to pass it on to the Mamelodi flood victims as well. So just to create awareness, we've been working in the area of the river that traverses through Centurion. That is where I have grown up and where I live. I believe it's where you have stronger networks that you need to work. And obviously it's a more affluent community than further upstream in Tembisa and Ivory Park and so on. So growing the awareness with people that I know, that I went to school with, and just broadening the audience through social media. And I've just recently heard that I have a memorandum of understanding which has been approved with the City of Tshwane, so I will be able to represent the city in intermunicipal engagements, and I think that gives me quite a lot of strength in these kinds of negotiations. So then I have been nominated for a number of awards and have come out in the finalists of numerous local awards. The Go For a Go Business competition, that was in September of 2019, I made it to the top 10 finalists. And then the South Africa Prestige Awards, I was the winner for Environmental Organisation of the Year 21 and 22. And the Enviropedia Ecologic Awards, you know this but nobody else knows it yet. I have been nominated as the winner, and then I am in the top 3 finalists for the water conservation category. And I've also been I'm a finalist on the Mail and Guardian Greening the Future Awards. So the vision is to continue to grow the awareness and to move from volunteerism to sustainable job creation. I work with a lot of the homeless community, and we create jobs as long as there's money. We clean the river, and so we educate them, upskill them, and also just try and reintegrate them into society. And we've got litter catchment systems that we've installed one so far, but the idea is to get numerous of these systems installed up and downstream. And looking ahead, I'd like to have managed recycling points upstream where people can actually drop off their recyclables in exchange for an instant reward like data or airtime, and that will minimize the amount of waste that actually goes into the river, as well as doing vegetable gardens. And those people can then exchange their food waste for vegetables that have been grown in the garden. And then obviously do some water quality testing as we go. So this is phase 1 of the litter catchment system. It's a number of our stakeholders on the system. So it's just to give you an indication of the size of the grid. And that's what it looks like once you've had rains. So you can see it does catch quite a lot. It's been designed in 3 phases. So the first phase catches your larger debris, like your trees and big plastic things that come floating down the river. And then the second phase is just smaller grids, and that also catches trees. So this one was the most recent rain. So a tree actually hooked the bottom cable and lifted the entire system out of the water. So we had to be very, very careful taking that out, because one wrong move and that thing can literally fling back and decapitate a person. So we had to be very, very strategic and work around very carefully to get that thing removed. And then the third phase is the barrel phase. So it's a row of barrels that have got a grid underneath, and it is anchored on the one side, and then if you see in the third picture, that is the release system. So once the water level reaches a certain height, it just pops off the top and everything gets released. So you don't create a dam while blocking or catching all the trash. And then that is what it looks like after we've had rain. So all this needs obviously constant cleaning, and it does create work for my group. Another project that we've got is the Fighter Blitz project, which I've done with Ambassadors for Good, and that is to use plants to remediate the water. So we've chosen vetiver grass. We've got 2 pontoons in place. One of them is in the Sesmail Spruit, which is a tributary of the Hennops, and then the other one is in the Hennops River. So we do testing of the roots and the leaves to determine what these plants extract from the water, because these plants they thrive on the nutrients which is in the water, i.e. sewage. And then we've also done a bit of planting, where we've planted over 4,000 of these vetiver slips into the ground in order to regenerate the soil and also to retain the banks. This stretch of the river is actually about triple the size that it used to be, because of the amount of soil erosion that is happening when it's raining. Other projects that we're doing is a collaborative project with the City Improvement District Foundation, where we're going to be doing more job creation, skills development, so woodwork and metalwork and computer work, just also trying to reintegrate the people into society, uplift the community, and they will have access to healthcare, childcare, a bakery, a laundromat, and car wash and agriculture. And then another project that we've got is Savilu project, where we're going to be putting waterless toilets into communities, and these toilets are fit for the elderly and children, and they also don't stink. You can use what you capture from it as fertilizer, and just to try and improve the lives of the people in the community and giving them access to toilets. And a long-term goal there is also to just find out if there is a reduction in rape cases in these communities because of the access that they have to sanitation. So job creation opportunities, full-time employment, full-time river cleaners, subsistence farmers, education, skills development, first aid training, safety training, machinery training, and management training as we expand. There's the visual impact. You can see what it looks like once we've undressed a tree from its plastic dressings. And at the end of the day, we don't have time. And I ask that you pause and reflect. The state of our rivers is a direct reflection of a very broken system, a huge amount of pain, and a very broken society. What we do to water, we do to ourselves. We are beings made up mostly of water. Imagine the future if this is now. The future started long ago. Water is life. Join the revolution. Your contributions could be in alignment with our needs. We are always in need of funding, vehicles, chainsaws and usage training, river cleaning gear and equipment, safety equipment, ropes, harnesses, carabiner clips, uniforms, corporate social investment, and Hennops Revival is a registered non-profit organisation and public benefit organisation. So our impact in numbers, we have cleaned up over 1.4 million kilograms of trash and a total of 56,903 bags that have been collected with the help of 2,853 volunteers. There are my contact details, and you are welcome to contact me to get involved. Thank you so much.